The call came while I was standing in the kitchen, knife hovering above a cutting board, onions burning my eyes for reasons that had nothing to do with tears. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes," my daughter-in-law barked through the phone, laughter crackling behind her like static. I didn't answer right away. The room felt smaller. The walls leaned in. My wife stood across from me, scrolling, not looking up. She knew. She always knew before the calls came. That was how it worked now. Decisions made elsewhere, delivered to me like chores. 5 kids, they'd decided. Christmas week. My week. The knife trembled once, then steadied. I set it down carefully. Too carefully. "Enjoy," I said, and ended the call. My wife finally looked up. Her eyes flicked to the phone, then to my face, measuring damage. There was a moment, a brief, naked flicker of concern, then calculation returned and smoothed it over. "You heard her," she said. "It's family." Family. The word landed wrong. I felt something cold settle in my chest, heavy and deliberate. This wasn't about dishes, or kids, or holidays. It was about control, about the quiet understanding that my time, my labor, my silence were communal property. I nodded, smiled even. Inside, a door closed. It hadn't always been like this, or maybe it had, and I'd been slow. The betrayal wasn't loud, no lipstick on collars, no midnight confessions. It was subtler, more corrosive, a slow erasure. Plans changed without me. My name volunteered before I agreed. My objections reframed as selfishness. My wife and her sisters spoke in glances now, in half-sentences that ended when I entered the room. I noticed how money moved, how my bonuses vanished into family emergencies, how I became the solution to problems I didn't create. And then there were the messages, her phone lighting up at night, the way she angled the screen away, thumb moving too fast. Not an affair, no. Worse, coordination, strategy. I wasn't a partner, I was a resource. I told myself I was imagining it, that marriage meant compromise, that holidays were stressful, that being needed was a kind of love. But suspicion doesn't shout, it whispers. I watched her pack gifts for the nieces and nephews, lavish, unnecessary, while telling me we needed to tighten our budget. I watched her sisters smile at me with a familiarity that felt earned, like they'd already divided me up among themselves. The Christmas plan arrived fully formed. I was expected to agree because disagreement would mark me. That was the betrayal, not infidelity of the body, infidelity of loyalty. And I realized something quietly devastating. They didn't think I'd ever leave. I didn't argue. That surprised her. I started listening instead. Phone records, shared calendars, group chats she forgot to mute when she slept. I learned the rhythm of their planning, the language they used when they assumed compliance. "He'll handle it. He won't mind. It's just for a week." I smiled at dinners, paid bills early, kissed her forehead like nothing had shifted. Inside, my thoughts arranged themselves into clean lines. Strategy calmed me. I booked time off work, quietly, opened a new account, quietly, booked a villa in Switzerland overlooking a lake so still it looked unreal. Every click felt like oxygen. I didn't fantasize about confrontation. I fantasized about absence, about not being reachable, about silence so complete it would terrify them. My wife noticed my calm and misread it as surrender. She grew careless, left her phone unlocked once. That was when I saw it clearly. A message from her sister. "Once he's there, we can finally relax. 5 kids, free childcare, and he won't complain." No malice, just certainty. That hurt more than anger ever could. I took screenshots, not for leverage, for clarity. I didn't want revenge yet. I wanted proof I wasn't crazy. The truth didn't arrive dramatically. It settled. I printed the screenshots and placed them in my bag like receipts. That night, I poured my wife a glass of wine and waited until she was comfortable, unguarded. "Do you think I'm happy?" I asked. She laughed lightly. "Why wouldn't you be?" I slid the papers across the table, didn't speak. Her face drained. The wine trembled in her hand, then spilled. She didn't notice. "That's not," she started, then stopped. There was no alternative explanation, no narrative that cast her as innocent. "You were never going to ask," I said softly. "Were you?" Silence. Thick. Heavy. She cried then, quietly, not for me, for the loss of certainty, for the sudden realization that the ground she stood on had been thinner than she thought. "I didn't think you'd mind," she whispered. That was the truth. I nodded, folded the papers back into my bag, stood. "No," I said, "you didn't." The photos went up the next morning. Snow, glass walls, a fire burning without urgency, a caption with one word: enjoy. My phone exploded. 71 calls, messages stacked like accusations. Confusion curdled into panic. My wife called last. When I answered, she was breathless. "What? This can't be happening." I pictured her sisters scrambling, childcare plans unraveling, Christmas collapsing into chaos. The villa was non-refundable, the silence intentional. "I told you," I said, "I had plans." "You're abandoning us," she said. "No," I replied, "I'm choosing myself." There was nothing theatrical about it, no raised voice, no final insult, just distance. I blocked the numbers one by one. Each block felt like closing a window against a storm that no longer concerned me. Switzerland was quiet. I woke without alarms, ate slowly, let the lake hold my reflection without distortion. I thought about the man I'd been, useful, accommodating, invisible. I felt no urge to mourn him. Control doesn't return with shouting, it returns with boundaries enforced once, cleanly. My wife texted once more before I blocked her too. "We need to talk." I looked at the message, then at the snow falling soundlessly outside. No, we didn't. I turned off the phone. Somewhere dishes piled up, children cried, plans collapsed. Here there was only stillness, and for the first time in years, it belonged to me.